right, welcome back, everyone. I have a special Sunday episode with Gus Ofili, and he brought on some special guests for me. So I got Welby Accely and Kristen Nutter. So welcome, morning, everyone.
Thank you.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good
Morning,
morning,
morning.
everybody.
So Gus needs no introduction. He's been a recent guest on my channel. Welby is I believe 300 something thousand followers on Instagram. So a lot of people probably know who he is. But Welby, can you quickly give a quick introduction to my guest and audience and your backstory and who you are?
Oh, great. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Welby Accely. I'm from New York City. I've been in investing in real estate for the past 22 years. People know me better as at my best 197 on all social media platforms. I teach people the art of the entire business is a flip, regardless if you're a wholesaler or buyer long term or if you're flipping conventionally. And I talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of investing in real estate, the hardships that I've been through, the hell that I've been through, and ultimately how it got me to where I'm at today.
I love that. I definitely want to dig into you saying real estate is always a flip. I love that. But Kristen, quickly, can you introduce yourself? Where do you invest and what mark? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. But first of all, I want to say hello, Welby, sir. Nice to meet you. The first
Uh,
time you came across my screen, right? I was
yes,
like, oh my gosh, this guy is yelling at me through my screen, right? So I
yeah,
didn't know. I'm like, am I offended? Am I intrigued? What is it?
yeah.
So thank you for being you and always being, honest
Thank you.
on your platforms. And Gus, obviously I've known you for what, 15, 20 years, something like that. We started at the same time and just seeing what you have accomplished in such a short time. I mean, it's amazing. So I'm proud to know you and be your friend. So that's awesome. But my name is Kristen. I'm a new mom. I have a 10-week-old baby at home with his dad and our two dogs. So
Well,
hi, Devin.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I started out as just a real estate agent, not just a real estate agent, but a real estate agent. Like I said, the same time as Gus, 8 years or so ago, helping other people buy and sell. Had no idea how to invest at all. But it didn't take me long to realize I needed to figure it out by helping other people. So just over time, did research, asked around, met the right people. Now we own a handful of properties in the local central Maine area, acquired in many different ways, and also continue to be a top producing realtor here in central Maine. So
Very awesome. So yeah, before we go into things, I definitely want to dig in with Welby about how he's every real estate deal is a flip. So was that mindset always from the beginning of your journey, or where did that come into play?
No, it was never the mindset during my journey, but as I said earlier, I'm in the business 22 years, but the first 10, 11 years was just horrific for me. So it was I was tested in so many ways. I was taken advantage of in so many ways by a lot of the players in this business, from no disrespect to anybody, but from realtors, from lenders, from
Uh-oh.
contractors,
Uh-oh.
right?
Uh-oh.
So I just went through a whole lot, and for those that don't know, I got wiped out to zero in this business three times in 2008, 2010, and somewhere late 2012. And then finally, a light bulb hit me, and I just realized that the foundation of this business is a flip. So it really doesn't matter. And what happens is people like to complicate things. Those people that are claiming that they want to educate people or show people the way, they like to categorize different aspects of the business within niches. And the niches are based off of what they can extract out of somebody's pockets most of the time. So when I started realizing that it doesn't matter what it is that you're looking to do, if you're a wholesaler, what does a wholesaler do? A wholesaler gets a property under contract to ultimately flip that property or flip that contract to somebody like the four of us on here. If you're a flipper, what is the goal of a flipper? A flipper is going to get a property under contract, renovate that property to ultimately flip that property to an end buyer that would normally be a retail buyer. If you're a buy and holder, what does a buy and holder investor normally do? They buy a property under contract at the right price point, renovate that property, rent that property out to ultimately flip that current mortgage into a new long-term mortgage. So once that snapped and I realized that everything was a flip, it doesn't really matter what part of the world that you're in. Foundationally, if you apply that, you'll be successful. So That's what happened to me.
Love that. I also want to dig into a little bit how Kristen was saying when you came across her feed, she wasn't
Thank
sure
you.
how to take
Thank
you. What,
you.
you know, you feel
Thank
like
you.
getting yelled at, and I
Thank
think a
you.
lot of people maybe feel that way. But when they dig into it, you're just being real, being honest, sharing your journey. So maybe you can talk about that also about the
For those
approach.
people,
Yeah.
for those people that do know me personally, they understand that that's naturally who I am. I'm extremely passionate, but most of the time I'm kind of like docile, if you want to say, like I am right now. But I'm sure I'm going to get turned up as the conversation goes. But I'm extremely passionate about it, and then also too, I'm from New York. So if you're from New York or the East Coast, you kind of understand. On top of that, I also have a chip on my shoulder. I have a chip on my shoulder because of the hell that I've been through. Real estate is not emotional. It should not be led with emotion. So most of the time when a person will see me initially, they get caught up more so on the delivery versus the information. And a lot of the times they will prefer to utilize the delivery as an excuse rather than to listen to the information. So when a person does actually, take a moment and listen to me, they'll realize how much we are related. It doesn't matter to me if you're a male, female, tall, short, black, white. You start to realize that there's a brotherhood and a sisterhood within this industry and this business, and that I'm speaking for you. And I'm speaking for the experiences that I'm sure that you've had as well, that a lot of the times people are afraid to admit openly, but I'm not afraid to do that. So
So Kristen, like you mentioned, when he first came across your feed, you didn't know what to make of it, right? Is he yelling at me? Am I supposed to be listening and learning from this? But you also said you kind of just was a realtor at first, or not just a realtor, but that's how you started, and then you got
Right.
into investing. So were you
Yeah.
already investing when he came across your feed, or?
Yeah, I was. I hate to say it, but it wasn't that long ago that that it happened. So, it was easier to relate a lot more, right? Because I feel like if you're not in it, it's hard to understand a lot of what Welby saying, Gus is saying, we're saying right now. It goes over people's heads a lot. You break it down really, really well, really easy. Like I said, I've acquired my properties in many different ways. I didn't understand the BRRRR method for the longest time. Gus tried to explain it to me how many times, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the way that you break things down for people to understand and get started and where they can find their resources, all that kind of thing. And also really showing the things that can happen, because it's serious business, that what can happen to you. You can lose everything, right? If you do something
quickly, extremely
quickly the
fast.
wrong way.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, and you can't grow too fast, right? Without knowing what you're doing. You want to take risks when they're calculated risk and they make sense. Sometimes they might not be. You want to try to just have all your information from different sources. So anywhere you can get that, I think is important.
I did put your folks' social media handles in the chat so people can go follow you and subscribe there also. And Welby, I'm not sure if you know this, but I know you were on Bigger Pockets multiple times. Gus
Yeah.
also was on Bigger Pockets, and he mentioned that he followed you after one of your episodes on Bigger Pockets, and he was like, "Man, I gotta follow this guy on Bigger Pockets though." So Gus, can you talk about that, having to follow Welby on Bigger Pockets?
So when you put something out on social media like Welby does, and it goes across the country, and how he said people from the East Coast are going to somewhat understand it. The first time I came across him, I was like, all right, I get this dude. Like, he's trying to get the message out there. Sometimes you need that certain type of tone to wake people up and let them realize what is going on out here. What are you capable of purchasing and buying to put you in the better type of situation. So when I saw him, I was like, okay, I know guys like this back home. I'm originally from Connecticut. They speak direct, they speak passionate, they speak to reach you, and so you're listening to them as far as what you're saying. But when he speaks and so I was sending Kristen a whole bunch of videos. I was like, yo, listen to this guy, listen to this guy, listen to this guy. She was like, I like what he's saying, but I feel like he's yelling at me. I don't know what to do. I'm like, just listen to the message that he's
I
saying.
need that sometimes, by the way. So thank you.
Kristen's very talented as far as what she does. And sometimes I got to give her a little push, be like, hey, talk your shit out there. You're doing great things. So I'm just going back. Yeah, I saw Welby's episode, and I just knew I had to bring my A game right after I saw that episode. And then I started following him. I started seeing the content, and I reached out to him. If I'm keeping it 100, I reached out to him. He answered back. And every time I would ask him a question, he would answer back. I'm like, damn, this dude got mad followers, and he still got time to take out to reach out back to people like myself who are one day aspiring to be in the position he is as far as impact socially on social media. So it's been nothing but a blessing to have a relationship with him. I think it's been like 2 years. So I appreciate he's on here, and I appreciate I have access to him.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I know, Kristen, you also mentioned the burst strategy, and maybe it was uncommon for you in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard Welby also talk about on one of his reels, I believe, that not everyone should be doing the
Right.
burst strategy, right? So, Welby, can you also dig into that a little bit?
I do promote that the majority of investors have no business doing the burst strategy.
Mm-hmm.
The burst strategy is dangerous, but the burst strategy can be amazing if done correctly. Unfortunately, the burst strategy is nothing new because we've been doing the burst strategy in my 22 years before anyone ever put a title to it. We were doing the burst strategy. What happened is that a lot of people use that as a marketing ploy to convince you to give them money to educate them, but they didn't really teach them the art of utilizing that strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, if you do your research, if somebody would take the time out to do their research, the burst strategy can let's say somebody did buy a property and they utilize the burst strategy. And for those that don't know what the burst strategy means, it's buy, rehab, refinance, rent, repeat, in that order, right? So it sounds simple enough because it really is, but if you don't understand how to properly evaluate, if you don't understand how to properly rehab, if you don't understand how to understand the macro point of where you're looking to be to the micro point of where you at today, you setting yourself up for failure. So what the burst strategy did with the way that it was marketed to the public was that having the ability to buy was enough. Saying that you bought was you won, when in reality it isn't true. Normally, if you see the failure points for most people, is by the time they get to the third property. So they bought the first property, did the burst strategy, extracted the monies out of that property, most of the time too much to use it to buy the second property. Follow the same process in the second property, while the first property is barely even cash flowing enough sufficiently to now get into the third property. And by the time you get into the third property, this is when the foundation of that strategy for most people starts to fall apart. So that's why I say that most people should not be doing the burst strategy. But if you understand how to do it, it's an amazing tool.
We like to say that the burst strategy forgets one R, and the last one is regret. So, like you're saying, right? A lot of people do it, and like they either pull out too much money or they're too leveraged, and it doesn't always work out for the best. So Kristen, now that you've been investing and you've been following Welby and Gus, in your words, how would you explain what the burst strategy is and how it should kind of come out or play out?
Let me tell you. Okay. So I haven't used it yet. I have not used it yet. Right. I mean, I can, we've got the equity there. It's all good. I haven't yet. I understand it. It makes complete sense. Right. But I mean, what if your tenants decide not to pay? I don't know. What if the heating system goes? What if, right? You don't have, you've taken everything you can. It was barely cash flowing. Where's that money coming from if it's all into the next one? A lot of people, like you were saying, they think buying it, oh, I own this. There's so much more to owning a building. And I'm very conservative in that way. My biggest fear is to, just mess up and not have what I need to support myself, my family, and it can happen so quick. So yeah, I mean, I like knowing all my buildings have equity still. It opens up more options for me too, right? Like, maybe, okay, sure, there's a great buy out there. I could do it. Is it the right one right now? I don't know. I'm gonna wait, right, until the opportunity I know I need to grab. Like, I bought 2 properties without my husband/business partner ever seeing them because they were great opportunities. They had to happen right then. He did all the work though, instead of taking the money from somewhere else. Like, sweat equity goes a long way in the beginning. And I think that's what people miss. They just want to buy it, forget it, someone else do it. It's going to make me cash flow. That's not true. You really got to work hard in the beginning. Eventually down the road, sure, you're going to be able to sit back maybe a little bit. You shouldn't, in my opinion, but you can. But yeah, to work hard in the beginning, and then once the BRRRR method will come into play and you'll be like Gus, rolling it over again and again. And it's great. So.
And unfortunately, with a lot of people that do do that strategy and others, they don't even realize that they're over leveraged. They don't even realize that they're over leveraged. And what they do focus on in addition is that the equity that they have. And then when I say to people, equity means nothing if you can't tap into it, that's another punch in the throat that upsets somebody, because it looks great on paper. You bought a property for 500,000, you did whatever, and now it's worth $1 million. You got a 500,000 extra in equity, but it means nothing if you can't touch it. And then if you already bought the property incorrectly, and the property is already cash flowing, what you got is a heavy weight on you financially that you have to support, that has a lot of money in it, but you don't have the ability to touch it, because if the cash flow isn't there, you can't refinance. If you do a home equity line and use it, you have to be strategic on how you utilize it with the next property. And then if the property is barely cash flowing to maintain that home equity line of credit, now you over leverage across the board, and then it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. And that's why it's important that people have to have the ability to evaluate here today to understand long-term potential outcome, rather than saying, let me purchase it now and then I'll figure it out as we go. That's very, very dangerous.
Now, they give you a lot of reasons why they're cautious or things to look out for. And I think all that information is important, especially if you're attempting to go ahead and do the BRRRR. What I want to focus in on is, after them, is understanding the BRRRR of where it could take you, though. Because where you could take you, if you're doing it right, it can help you scale. It can help you create equity. It can change your life. In my last 3 years, 3.5 years, as far as doing the BRRRR, it took me from one, I was putting 20% down, not being able to buy as much properties, to a position now I have a staff that works for me, as far as contractors, painters, cleaners, everything along those lines. Now I'm a running functional business because of the BRRRR. So it's good to know the things that they speak of, as far as the cautiousness and being aware, making sure you know how to go ahead and execute it. If you are able to go ahead and do those things at the highest capability, the outcome of it, because Zuber talks about it also, is we're talking about generational wealth. And I know some people tend to think generational wealth is some type of ploy or some type of gateway to get you into some courses or some shit like that. But at the end of the day, generational wealth is a true thing. Because if I was to die today, my kids, my family will be taken care of, and their kids and their family, hopefully down the line, will be taken care of.
I do want to stress one thing, though. In addition to the BRRRR strategy, you cannot just do the BRRRR strategy solely within this business and don't have other sources of money being generated. You cannot. So the reason partially with the success of Gus is, in addition to him doing the BRRRR strategy, he was doing other things like flips, like selling properties and other things like that. So he had had other monies coming in that was sustaining his lifestyle until he shored up his business, as he described that it is now, that now is generating money that can support itself and generate money, and also allow him to continue buying because the money is still coming in. A lot of people are doing it prematurely. That's why you see people will start it and then quit their job, or start it and start to spend extra money than they should be spending, because they think that they made it and then don't realize that, wait, there's not enough income, active income coming in to support this business until this business can actually support itself truly.
I want to give a quick shout out to Cops to Cash Flow tuning in on Instagram. As usual, police are showing up late to the scene on the live stream. But I know he also invests in Connecticut. He's a police officer in New York. So thanks for stopping by. You know what I also like, Welby, from a lot of your interviews I was watching, and it's kind of to Michael Zuber, the Dion McNeely strategy is everything or not everything. I think you believe you said 85 to 90% of your deals are off the MLS, right? So I think a lot, you're not spending any money on, mailers and things like that, I believe, but everything is off the MLS, right? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we already have a lot of the tools in front of us to use. But most of the time people aren't utilizing those tools because they feel that they have to spend that much more money to be productive. So as you said, 85 to 90% of the flips I've ever done came off the MLS. 85 to 90% of even all of the rentals that I own came off of the MLS. So what a lot of new investors are doing is that they're focusing on the list price rather than their price. which goes back to what we talk about evaluation. I can see a property in my area and I could tell you within seconds how much money I'm going to be able to offer on that property for that property to make sense to me. And that's without me ever leaving my home or having to even physically go see that property. So I wanted to increase my efficiency because a lot of people waste time spending weekends looking at homes because they have to work between their work schedule, looking at homes, and then wanted to make an offer with the odds are more so than not, they're not going to get the property under contract. So yes, 85 to 90% of my properties comes off the MLS, and then because of the reputation I have in my area, then I start getting a lot of off-market opportunities as well because people know that if the numbers make sense for me, I'm gonna buy it. So.
I think the MLS is just one avenue to go ahead and get deals. So yeah, it's probably the most popular one because agents are pushing it, platforms are pushing it. So when people say there's no deals on the MLS, they're full of shit at the end of the day. Because like Welby just said, it's about creating your own price. Once you can go ahead and create your price, if they accept it, now you got a deal. So just like when you talked about potentially putting money towards mailers or having a team cold calling or working with wholesalers, it doesn't matter where the deal comes from. You know, any avenue it comes from, it doesn't matter. It's about you getting it at the right price and you being able to use that to your advantage so it cash flows and has built-in equity. That's really what it's about at the end of the day.
Yeah, you definitely create your own opportunities for sure. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kristen. Another reason why this is important is because most of the people are mostly focused on the quantity versus the quality of what they're buying. So I don't care if anybody watches my Instagram, I own a lot of properties. I don't talk about the amounts of properties that I own because it really is irrelevant. I focus on the quality of what I own. So then going back to the MLS, a lot of the times people don't realize how much opportunity is on there because they think that other avenues are going to give them the abundance of the opportunities or the deals, which isn't true. So to what Gus is saying, that's another tool, but unfortunately, that's a tool that I don't think a lot of people are utilizing because they think that they need to go the other routes that have been sensationalized.
And I think it's because they don't know how. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know how, even if you're sitting here listening to us again. And I'm just thinking back to when I first started, right? It's like, I'm listening, but I hear you, right? But it's like, okay, what does he mean? He gets his deal. Like, how am I looking at that? Right. And you can't really explain that in a video because every property is different. Every property is going to do a different thing. Right. So it's like, we can't really just tell you unless you have a mentor. Like Gus was saying, he reaches out to you. I reach out to Gus. We're lucky to have each other in that way. You know what I mean? To bounce ideas off. A lot of people don't have that. Really. I mean, they don't realize that getting out and networking, I think, is very important. It's going to open up so many doors and guide you the way you really can't do it by yourself. But you know what I mean? So yeah, the MLS is great. Meeting someone at the gym and seeing that they have a plumber shirt on. Hey, I like your shirt. You know, like, are you a plumber? I do this, that, you know, just little things like that can go a long way as well.
But to add to what Kristen just said, which is a really good segue, she threw out the mentorship aspect. And unfortunately, because of what happened, especially during COVID, it got diluted to the importance of a mentor. I never had a mentor starting out. And it's not something that I'm saying to brag. I'm not bragging. I wish I had a mentor when I started out because you got people like Kristen, you got people like Gus that are like light years ahead of where I was at the stage that they're in because they had people to lean on. Now, what the sad part about it is that the people are going to sit here and listen to the four of us, right? And Kristen is going to say mentorship. Gus is going to say the same thing. I forgot. I'm sorry, brother. Your name. I'm horrible with names. So
yeah, Mark.
Mark. I'm horrible with names. So please. We will all, I'm sure, say the importance of mentorships, right? And then the first thing that people will pick up is scam. What it is that what you're not willing to invest in your education, you are going to lose it 20 to 30 times more in the real world. So what you should be doing is vetting the people. Don't take it at face value. Make these people prove to you who they claim to be. And if you can align yourself up with somebody solid that is aligned with what you're looking to do, or aligned with the goals that you're looking to achieve, you will accelerate your growth in this business tremendously than doing it by yourself. So I would highly encourage people, if you can, get yourself a mentor.
And I think it's good too to always second guess everything or question everything, right? Like Gus, he said today, don't be, nice Kristen, be the Kristen that you are to me, right? I'm always questioning him, and it comes off probably as a little bit like I'm being an asshole. I'm like, why though? Why would you do that? And it's honestly me just being passionate about trying to figure out, okay, why is he doing it that way? All right, where would that work for me? Everybody does things differently. And you have to find what works for you, but definitely question everything. Do your own research too. You can't be lazy about your own research. People, oh yeah, cool, got that, I'm going to go off with it. You didn't even double check. You don't know if I'm telling you the truth or not. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge thing. You have to be a little skeptical of everybody until, like you said, they prove it, or you can see it for yourself. Because there's very easy to just talk and not have anything to back it up. So
I had a situation yesterday. This young man called me, and he was interested in a 3-unit that's local around here. He didn't know me. He just called the number and he got me. So we got on the phone. I was like, yeah, let's underwrite this deal. And we underwrote it, and it wasn't a good situation. Let's put it that way. And he was like, bro, you taught me so much in this 20-minute span than I've figured out online by just watching YouTube and not having someone to bounce those ideas off of. And he was like, I didn't think I was going to get that from a real estate agent. And this goes back to what I hear from Welby. This goes back to me being a real estate agent, Kristen, you too, as far as us knowing our peers. A real estate agent isn't a mentor when it comes to investing. A lot of them don't know how to go ahead and invest. You know what they see? They see you say, and I'm not trying to take from Welby because I think the similar way. They see a pre-approval letter, and they say, this is an opportunity for me to go ahead and get a check. So they're showing you these properties. How can they tell you a property is a solid property for you to go ahead and purchase if they don't know what the fuck they're doing at the end of the day? If they can't show you how to underwrite it, if they can't tell you how to get it for the right price. So a lot of people are calling realtor.com, Zillow, all these other avenues, calling the offices. They're getting this random agent, and they're getting put in a tough situation because then they end up buying something that doesn't work for them. And then they got to figure out either I'm going to sell it, lose money, or I'm just going to lose the property in general. So I wanted to say that also. Lenders, real estate agents, these guys aren't mentors.
And you see you see the passion of Gus, right? You see how he got turned up, right? that's where that comes from me as well, where I get turned up, because people don't understand that the world does not owe you understanding. The world owes you nothing, and you have to understand that anybody that's listening to this, if you are a qualified buyer, if you are an investor, or if you are a regular retail buyer, you are the most important person at that table. You are the most important person in this industry. Number one. So it turns people off or gets them feeling weird when I say it. They'll chimmer and chimer quietly, but when I say challenge me if I'm wrong, you know what they say to me face to face when they pull me to the corner? Nah, bro, you're right. But why you got to tell everybody that? I wish somebody would have said that to me. It would have avoided me. I would have been triple net worth of where I'm at today if somebody would have told me the power that I have. Now, with power comes great responsibility. So that doesn't mean that you now abuse people, take advantage of people because you know better. But you do put your hands up and defend yourself, and don't tolerate the BS from these people out here. And I'm talking about the players in the industry. So
yeah. And that's part of why I did get into investing though too, because I was so into being a realtor and I was working with a lot of investors, and I didn't want to be bullshit. You know what I mean? I wanted to know what I was talking about. You should want to be the best at anything you're doing, right? So you gotta level up sometimes and make sure someone asks me a question, I'm gonna know it. How do you know it? Because I did it, so you can feel comfortable with me and let everybody know. And then I'm getting better at the same time as I'm helping them. So that's kind of where my mindset was back then.
Kristen, I do want to ask you though, because a lot of times many realtors don't ever get into investing, right? They're just on the
And I
transaction
could never
sales.
understand that, but yes.
Yeah, so maybe was Gus a big influence on you to get into
um,
investing, or
I mean, I think I'm I don't know. Once I thought about, yes, like it's a no-brainer. There's some things that just make sense, right? It didn't take a lot of thought, I guess. I did see what he was doing and I'm very competitive and I'm like, "Damn, man, we start at the same time. Like I should be kicking his ass, right?" And I'm going to catch you one day, but so yeah, I didn't have a mentor really. I mean, in the beginning, nobody at my office really invested. They didn't really talk about it. Exceptional realtors, I'm the best because of them. But and then I did ask that question to the ones who had been in it forever. Why don't you own properties? Why wouldn't you? Are you telling me you're going to be out hustling 7 days a week until you're 60 years old and just to get by? Like that just didn't make sense to me. So that was kind of the focus there. And then, yeah, of course I started seeing Gus. We've been talking for many, many years. I mean, all hours of the night, you know how you wake up in the night, something comes to your mind, you got to write it down, figure out the next steps, think about it, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think everybody should be investing. Are you kidding me? I don't care if it's a little piece of land that you hold and you sell down. Like, there's no reason why with your extra money you shouldn't be putting it to good use like that somewhere. No one needs a brand new car unless it's a write-off down the road and you need it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, in my opinion.
so like I said, going back to Kristen saying she felt like she was being yelled at a lot, maybe when she first came across Welby's social media pages, but there's tons of information there if you just actually dig into it and listen to it, right? So there's a few that I do want to discuss with you, Welby. So there was one. You said, "Here's why I took the Ferrari to go shopping at the dollar store." So what was that all about?
That was kind of like a jab at the lifestyle marketers. The people that were portraying a certain lifestyle to make other people envious of them, and then decide that they would want to pay for their mentorship. And if you see the landscape of social media now, lately, you notice how quiet it is now. You notice how a lot of the loud, Kristen, the loud, right? The loud lifestyle marketers, the ones that were in your face showing you the restaurants that they were eating at or the trips that they were at, they're all gone. I've been driving Ferraris and owning Ferraris for a long time. I've been owning high-end jewelry or trips for a long time. But I always said that when I started this journey, I didn't want to be that person to eat in your face. I don't want to eat in your face. If I can't share with you, if we can't break bread together, if I can't give you a piece of what I got on my plate, I don't want to throw it in your face. So so with the Ferrari, it was kind of a jab because I just happened to be driving in the area. The Dollar Tree has this thing that I like in there, and I'm not gonna go drop off that car just so I could go and take another car just to go there. So I parked the car in the lot, and then I shot the video and said, would you take a Ferrari to a dollar store? So that was pretty much it.
On that note, can I just say something too? Don't compare yourself to others, right? I'm saying like that doesn't, right? Oh my, he has a Ferrari. I suck. I shouldn't even start because I'll never get there. Blah, all that.
Yeah.
Like you don't need, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
compare yourself to others, and it keeps you focused.
Absolutely. And there's always going to be someone. That's what makes this country beautiful. There's always going to be someone in terms of numbers doing better if you want, right? So to add to what this young lady said, she's right. You put your blinders on and stay focused and run your own race. Run your own race, because what's going to be good for you might not be good for the next person. So just stay focused and run your own race.
Gus, you got anything? I know you had a post also mentioning the dollar store. It was a little bit different though, right?
Yeah, I said the dollar store isn't the dollar store anymore. It's like a $2 store, $3.
That's a fact, though. You're definitely right about that one. That's definitely a truth.
I remember you could go in there $1.05, you'd be good. But the one thing is about when some people don't catch people's whole story. So some new viewer right here may not know Welby, for example, and now he jumps on Welby's Instagram and he's seeing Welby in a Ferrari, or seeing Welby how he talks now, but he doesn't know the backstory. Everyone has a backstory of where they started. So I kind of like what Kristen said, don't get discouraged when you see people where they're at. do your research, especially on, I think that's the biggest thing, or speak to that person. People like to judge people from the outside or what they're putting out there to the world instead of actually knowing that person. Once you get to know that person, you're like, oh, this is a dope person. Oh, he went through this, that, and the third. You know, to hear Welby's story, to hear him talk about the Ferrari, but then you dive into his whole story, be like, yo, he earned that. And now that he earned that, he got his way to get one of those nice cars that he has to be able to drive and do whatever he wants. He's not using the car that's rented or leased or any, I don't know, lease is nothing wrong with that, but it's not rented or anything along those lines to front in a video and be like, hey, buy my course for $20,000. So that is evil. In my opinion, that's evil intentions. He's saying this is a regular day in my life. This is how I'm living. I'm in my Ferrari. I'm going to the dollar store and we out. And some people got to look at things from a whole point of view instead of bits and pieces. We're in the era now. People want to consume 60 seconds of a grill and think that's it without doing any research.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. So to that point, like your backstory, but there also was another reel that you said you don't have to have it all figured out to win.
I'm not as smart as I look. So, you know, people look at me and they say, man, this guy knows so much. I'm not as smart as I look. I just been through hell. So my experiences that I talk about are my reality, are my experiences. I don't talk from a position of theory. I talk from a position of either I've done it, been through it, or I've had some level of involvement in that conversation that we're talking about. So that's why I could be confident enough to walk into a situation within my realm, because I could back it up. When people hear my numbers, they look and they say, there's no way you could pull that kind of money from a property. There's no way you could make that kind of an income. There's no way you could recoup your money back in the speed that he's saying. So make me prove it to you. But not as an entertainer. I'm not here to entertain you. But I can back it up. And you know, so it's just that I've been through hell and back in this business, man, and I still go through hell and back. And that's what I share with the audiences every day when I put up the videos. It could be a situation that happened that moment or yesterday, or it could be a conversation that me and Gus had. And I'm like, oh man, that's going to be a great talk because I did go through that, and then I put a video and put it out. So that's why, you know, the movement that I have is so massive. I'm really thankful. Even the following is not reflective on what's really going on. Because a lot of people don't see the back end of what I see, and I'm just really thankful for the people that believe in me and entrust me through their journey.
Yeah, also like a lot of the interviews I saw, you talking about how you want to put 25% down compared to people maybe putting 3% down, right? So can you break that down, the numbers?
The thing is, okay, if I could break down the reality, because that I know some people are gonna feel a little bit weird about what I'm about to say. When it comes to the Black and brown community, right? In the Black and brown community, it's been ingrained in our minds when it's involving the most important investments of our lives, and primarily it's going to be real estate. It's to put the cheapest money down possible, 3.5% down, 5% down. Now I know that makes people feel uncomfortable me saying that, but it's a fact, right? You go to most other communities, it's ingrained in their community. Man, you better bust your tail, sacrifice, drive a hoopty, do whatever you got to do so you can put 20% down, and they understand the reasoning why, right? Now, if you're coming in here as an investor, I'm not putting 3.5%, 5% down on an investment property. I'm going to be putting 20% down, but the 20% down I'm going to be putting down is equivalent to the 3.5% that you were putting down anyways. So when a person doesn't understand what I mean, I break it down, and I give an example. I have a multifamily property that I purchased, 20% down. If it was a turnkey property, the property is $500,000. 20% down is $100,000, correct? Mm-hmm. At $100,000, I was able to buy that. That's how much the person will be putting down. If they put 3.5% down, they'd be putting down roughly what on a $500,000 property? What is that? I'm horrible with math.
Oh God,
3.5%.
why would you do this?
15, 15, yeah.
15, and with closing costs, another 15. Can we roughly say that? That's $30,000. That same property, I was able to find that property because we're looking for opportunities. I found that property and I got that property under contract for $120,000. I put 20% down, 25% down. How much is that of $120,000? Roughly $30,000.
Yeah.
So people got to shift their mindset. So you bought the property for $500,000. I bought the property for $120,000. Yes, it needs fixing, but you put 20% down and put down, 3.5% down and put down $15,000 plus closing costs. I put down the same down payment like you, but I did it differently. Now, because I got the mindset of an investor, I'm going to force appreciate it, because when you bought it for $500,000, it's worth $500,000. You have no equity. I bought it for $120,000. I spent another $60,000, $80,000, $100,000. Immediately, I'm up $200,000, $250,000 for the same property. So when Gus is talking about generational wealth, when Gus is talking about situating his family even when he's gone, that's what I'm talking about. So now let's talk about the numbers on that same property. Now, I own that property that we're talking about right now. This is not something I'm making up. So now that property, best case scenario, you're probably going to get out of that property maybe $6,000 a month in rental income, roughly. By the time you factor in taxes and insurance and everything, buying at that price point, you're going to be at somewhere around, what, $3,000, $3,500 for a mortgage? Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
By the time you figure out paying the mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and everything else like that, you'll be lucky if you make $2,000 a month, correct?
Yeah.
Everybody's excited about the $2,000 a month. They're not giving each other high fives. They're making $2,000 a month. I would never do a deal like that. That $2,000 a month, you're not making any money, because people don't realize if it costs you $30,000 to buy that property, do whatever work to it, that $2,000 a month is going to you recouping the money, not making money. You didn't make any money yet.
Can I ask something?
Absolutely.
What if that's all that they can do, though? Do you still say, like, go for it because you got to start somewhere? Do you know what I mean?
Yes and no, but it's not that that's all that they can do. They just did it differently that we wouldn't do.
Gotcha.
Because the bottom line is, what are we talking about? $30,000.
Good, yeah.
I put up $30,000. You put up $30,000. We both put up $30,000.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So we both got $30,000. But what you doing, we're doing what the massive don't want to do or aren't willing to do, but they're envious of us doing it, wishing that they could, but they didn't.
Why do you think they don't? Like, why do you think that is, though? Why aren't they doing it? Like,
because people, well, one, they don't know. America has created entitlement. People don't want to put in work anymore today. They want to be envious. They want to be given to people, things given to them. They want to hate on the next person, different things like that.
Right.
So it's not that we don't have the tools. We all got the tools, but I might get a hammer, but I'm using the hammer as a screwdriver.
Right.
But we both got a hammer, right? So it's not that you couldn't and they can't, they could. Now, when in that scenario I just broke down, what people today are doing is that they're waiting on appreciation. Appreciation is not guaranteed. Appreciation is icing on the cake. Appreciation is hoping and wishing. That's not the fast track to wealth. It's never gonna get you anywhere. What we need to learn to do, the people who's listening need to learn how to adapt to what's happening now, regardless what market you're in, regardless what climate that it is in, regardless who's in the office, regardless what the interest rates are, regardless if it's a buyer's market, seller's market, who cares? It don't matter. You adapt to what the market is. Based off of what the market is, the majority of people are looking to buy at the top. We're looking to buy where we can add value. So while that next person is looking and saying, yeah, but I bought it for $500,000. I put $15,000 down. I got $485,000. I got a $15,000 equity. No, you don't got that. plus your closing costs. You don't got that. You don't have equity. But it says that you do on paper. The scenario I broke down, I got in real life for the same property for property, but we moved at it differently. I got $200,000 in equity. Real money. Your payments are double my payments, regardless what the interest rates are. Mm-hmm. That's why we don't care about interest rates. I pray to God every day, interest rates go up to 10%. I pray every day, Lord, please, you hear me today. I hope interest rates go to 10%. So when you understand that, then you understand how to properly leverage. Then you understand how to properly leverage that. That's how what Gus is doing. You're able to get to the second, the third, the fifth property because the money is already there. The money's already there for you to do so. And then if you follow that same process over and over and over again, you're getting compound equity on properties that you never had to wait for the equity appreciation to grow. You never had to wait for it. You did it yourself. Most people aren't going to do that.
Yeah, they're embarrassed to buy those type of properties, though. Like some of my buildings, I wasn't always that proud to. You know what I'm saying? Really, it's like, yeah, you bought that. Yeah, I did buy that because I can see what it will become. I can see what it's going to be. This is one of my worst properties was my best purchase ever. You know what I mean?
But I got to clean that up for you, though. It's not that you was embarrassed. You weren't embarrassed to buy it. They were too coward to buy it.
There you go. I like that.
So then they wanted to project. They wanted to project their fears on you as the same.
Because it was a lot of damn work that a lot of people wouldn't have. I mean, when my husband walked in, he's like, "What have you done?" I was like, "Trust me, I promise." I'll tell you this: I was in the attic in a hazmat suit, crying, cleaning out. You don't even want to know what I was cleaning out of that building, right? I mean, look at me. Do you think I wanted to do that? No, I didn't.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah.
You don't know me. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
Because the market climate where it's going, you're going to get some fantastic opportunities coming.
Appreciate that. Yes.
Fantastic opportunities coming. And here's the thing. I have no sympathy for nobody that's not willing to put in that work. Mm-hmm. I have no sympathy for nobody that's not willing to put in that sacrifice. Nobody. So rubbing people the wrong way is not my intention. But you know what type of war we got to go through doing what we're doing? Mm-hmm. So when I say that Gus, when I say that Mark, Kristen, I'm going to even throw myself in the mix, are superheroes. We wear the capes that you don't see because we're providing essential services to this country that we get major backlash for. Mm-hmm. We get major backlash for. So that's where my passion comes from because I have hundreds of families that I take care of directly and indirectly. I'm responsible for them. So how dare you get upset with me that I have a capitalistic mindset of the willingness to provide, to take that piece of crap property that nobody saw the value in, to fix it, make it beautiful, and let the neighborhood and the community reap the benefits from it directly and indirectly, and then you want to villainize me as well.
I want to add on to that. So when I was an agent and I was just putting out content as an agent, I'm servicing people. As soon as my conversation started to change and I was talking about ownership, then I started to see things change for me locally in my area. It was like, oh, you're invited to the table, but we didn't say you could have the whole piece of steak. You can only have a piece of steak. And me being who I am, I don't give a fuck what anyone's telling me. I'm here to grab anything that's on the table because I'm sitting down just how you're sitting down.
That's right.
I went on to go, and I said this on one of Mark's podcasts before. When you make yourself the weapon and you understand the game, people fear that. I'm not talking about servicing people and being their real estate anymore. I'm talking about adding $200,000 into equity. And I'm making the video. I'm putting it out there. People are like, Gus, you might not want to put that. Why not? Mm-hmm. There's another me that's young out there that need to go ahead and see that because they'd be like, oh, he could do it. And I'm not even talking about race or nothing like that.
Yes,
there's a young kid right now Only thing he has to do is follow me on Instagram or follow whoever on Instagram. It doesn't even have to be me, and see a person talking about they took a property, they rehabbed it. There's $150,000 in equity, and that property's making money, and this is how we're doing it. And now that person, their whole trajectory of life has changed. Now, is it that easy? No, but the spark, the idea that happens from it is by people like us putting the information out there and being truthfully. I got a lot of people that ask me, Gus, it looks like every one of your properties are breaking down. Either you got bus pipes, you got this, you got that.
And
this comes along with the game. Is that I'm not putting all the money. That's why my content guy, he wants me to always talk about the money I'm making. I'm like, that's cool. But I also got to put the bullshit I got to go through every day. Another crack pipe, another burst pipe, another place we got to rehab, a tenant messed this place up. You got to give people the truth straight across the board. And what we're doing right now is we're encouraging young adults to go ahead and take the same journey. And we're changing trajectory of people we don't even know about. And that's why I love this game so much.
And honestly, I was just going to say that the money that you can make is great, right? But that shouldn't be the sole focus. That should be so far on the back burner that, it's so many other things. But
if you do it with the love for it, the money's going to come anyways.
Always.
So lead with the love, and the money's going to come anyways. So.
Well, you're getting them all riled up in the chat, but let me just say. So Brady Morgan is saying, unfortunately, there are slumlords out there giving all landlords a bad name. Average renter doesn't know the difference. But this also is a great segue to one of your reels that you did. It says, "Why is the landlord always the villain?"
Oh, that's the question, because it's the lowest hanging fruit. It's the easiest thing to point fingers on, is to say it's the landlord, and to say landlords are greedy. Landlords, of course. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the person owning a property, being responsible for it, and then being compensated for his efforts? There's nothing wrong with that. And then also, until you understand this side of the game, stop throwing rocks and hiding your hand, because you don't understand this side of the game. So the landlord is the villain, but no one ever wants to talk about. I have a video that went viral before when I talk about why is it that I don't see you guys protesting against the oil companies for the gas prices? Why don't I see you guys going to the supermarket when eggs used to be $1 a carton and now eggs is $6-7 a carton now? Why I don't see you guys protesting that? Why I don't see you guys protesting every other thing in life that's a daily aspect of the life, when what's more important than a roof over your head? What's more important than that? So that nobody takes into account that the municipalities manage and maintain the roads, schools, etc. from the property taxes. So the property owners are the ones that are maintaining the roads, the schools, the things that benefit the public, because of what the property owners are spending in property taxes. So they could blow up the property taxes all they want. Insurance companies could keep increasing their prices all they want, but the landlord can't increase their price. And then what do you want us to do? Just increase the price to break even, and then have to answer your phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning? And then see that you are backing up the toilet with your baby wipes and stuff? I'm not to get compensated for that? You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy.
Let's see. Yep. So Josh Burdick says, providing houses to the masses is a noble cause and is worthy of good compensation. And Kristen, you should feel a lot. It says Gus and Welby in the same room. This is a 10K masterclass for free here.
Hey, I know what I'm up to over here. What are you kidding me?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Welby, you're buying a house doesn't feel like a win anymore. Okay, so we're on here. People are asking questions, right? So you ask people in that to write to you and tell you, why, whatever it was, they aren't buying or what their concerns are. So is that because you plan to make other classes or other videos to kind of explain it? Is that for your own knowledge to figure out, like, okay, is there something I can do? Like, what's the concept behind that?
Well, it was really to create a talking point on social media, right? Okay. Because because I've been saying it forever. If you go through my page, you hear me saying simply buying real estate is not a win. Mm-hmm. Buying real estate is not a win. Simply buying real estate today is not enough. Mm-hmm. So now when I say buying real estate doesn't feel like a win anymore, it's because go people, please, because how quick people forget the past, right? COVID was only yesterday, and look how quickly people forgot. Look at how many people were buying real estate. Look how many people were ringing the bells after they got to the closing table, super excited with the keys, walking through. They wanted the biggest house. Look at how many people moved from their home state that they were living in and moved to another state, buying a property. And then look at them today. Mm-hmm. Listen to the horror stories that are happening today. Yeah. Listen to how many of them want to simply give back the properties to the bank, or that they got the unexpected growth in their mortgage payment because the taxes blew up, the insurance blew up. So that win that they said that they got is gone. Then they start realizing, wait a minute, the realtor mortgage lender encouraged me to pay $50,000 or $100,000 above the list price. Don't worry, John Doe, Jane Doe, just pay the extra $100,000 because in another year, at the pace that we're going, your property is going to be worth this amount. That ain't happening today. They're all underwater. I went to go see a house yesterday. The man only owned the property 3 years. He's owned the property and he's willing to offload it. I did a video about it too. I'm going to put up tomorrow, maybe. He's going to offload that property 20% below what he paid for. Now him and his wife, family are now wiped out financially.
And stuff like that should just back up why you're not the villain and the landlord. Nobody else wants to do it. Are you going to do it? You know what I mean? You're taking all the risks. So
that's
videos
right.
like that and then reading everything that people say of their concerns, that should, how can you see that and then be not behind?
My videos come once again from my heart of what I experienced. And you want to know what it is? The majority of people that watch me every day, regardless if they click that follow button or they don't, because most of the people that try to throw hate on me when I go on the page, they watching me religiously, but they don't press that follow button. Right? They watch me religiously, but don't press that follow button. The reality is that I will bet on it. 95% of the people that listen to me relates to me, even if they hate it. Mm-hmm. Even if they hate it. I love myself. When I wake up and look at myself in the mirror, I love what I see. There was a time when I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to off myself because I had low self-esteem. I felt like a failure. I felt like a loser. I felt like I was stupid. You know how many people I speak to that call me up and tell me, brother, thank you so much. You saved my life, because I wanted to off myself. Mm-hmm. So the people that are hearing and listening to me, they could relate to it because they went through it. They were like, wait a minute. The lender told me X, Y, Z. The realtor told me X, Y, Z. The contractor told me X, Y, Z. Why the hell all of these people, what they told me was a lie? They didn't tell me this was going to happen. Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate when that happens. There's always a way to come up and come out of it, though. It's just hard for people to see sometimes if they don't have somebody to help them see. And it's like, I don't know how, but I know you can, like, there's always a way, you know?
There's absolutely a way, but you don't have to go through it today. Whoever's going to watch this interview with us, whoever's watching it now, you a fool. You a fool if you deciding you're going to get off here when it's already early in the morning for us over here. So just simply be entertained and then go right back to your bullshit.
Facts.
You're a fool.
That's facts.
You're a fool. There's somebody on here that's gonna relate to it and say it's 2026. The opportunity is massive. What can I do to capitalize on what's going on? Mm-hmm. Most of you ain't gonna do SHIT. Most of y'all ain't gonna do nothing. That's just the truth of the matter. I have no sympathy for you, because you got to be the one to put that mask on your face when that plane is going through turbulence. You got to put that mask on your face first before you try to save everybody else. And if you're not even willing to do that, what you want the rest of us to do for you, right? But if you're willing to do that and you're truly willing to bet on yourself, let the people that want to see you win help you.
When people like you are on here, right, opening things up, willing to have a conversation, it blows my mind that someone's not going to get off of this, myself included, do a bunch of research, come up with their questions, reach out to you ASAP, you know, with all of those questions that I came up with, right?
I will show anybody, and I'm saying this as humble as possible. Gus, because Gus knows the game. Somebody wanting to truly listen and then apply it. I didn't say it's going to be easy. I never said it's going to be easy. You will be a millionaire in under 18 months. And we're talking about in today's market, with the market being what they claim. If you listen to what we sharing with you guys truly and apply it, you will be a millionaire in 18 months. But so when Gus, I'm sorry, I'll let you go. When Gus, when your videographer's telling you money, he doesn't understand the game, but his palate for money is what's exciting. So listen to him to a degree, because you got to give the people some of it. You got to give them some of it, and then give them the reality check on what they got to do to get it.
That's facts.
Yeah, to that point. So everyone, like you said, you better leave here. Make sure you go subscribe, follow everyone that's on this live stream today. So there's everyone's social media platforms. So go subscribe, follow them there. I don't know how much time you folks have. I don't want to take too much of your time, Welby. I'm grateful for this.
Whatever you got to do, I still got. It's up to you guys.
I do have one that I do want to get to. I don't know what other questions you folks have, but I do want to make sure we cover one. It was, I'm grateful for this collaboration. I thank Gus for bringing you folks on. But you did have a reel recently talking about collaborators hitting you up in your DMs and things like that. So what was that one all about?
So one thing they say if you want to go, what's that word? Go far. Wait, go far, you go on your own. How does that go? I don't remember how to say it. But if you want to go further or whatever, just go with a team, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying it right. Somebody could correct me, please do that, right? So getting into this space, social media space and showing educational space, I never had anybody mentor me, help me. So I wanted to collaborate. I wanted to tap in with a lot of these people that were presenting themselves as doing the things that they were doing and whatever, only to find out that they weren't remotely close to what they were doing. Facts. So you guys could see some of the people that have been arrested or have major lawsuits. I've been around all of them, right? So my story, my information, my offering has never changed. Has never changed. So when you didn't want to collaborate with me then, which I'm glad that you didn't, when you didn't want to grace me on certain scenarios or situations then, why are you now calling me now and reaching out to me now? Some of these people have legal issues, legal problems, legal issues. Some of them have fallen off the map in terms of the trust of the audience. Mm-hmm. Why you want to call me now? So I have so many people in my DMs reaching out. So I said, let me just put out a public announcement, man. If you haven't been tapping in with me, reaching out to me from before, when especially I reached out to you, stop sending me a message because I have no interest in that. Mm-hmm. And I'm only looking to deal with people like yourselves and others, a handful of others that are really truly about the people, looking to pour into the people, looking to help the people. That's the type of people that I want to be around and to collaborate around. That's what I want. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a fool. I don't work for free. I don't work for free. I already give up as much as I can freely every day because all of that, what I have in the studio here and everything else cost me a bunch of money. Plus, I just put out a lot of game. But if people are looking and needing help, I'm the guy you want to talk to. I mean that with the utmost respect. I'm going to give it to you straight, raw, and uncut. I'm going to give it to you. No fluff, no gas, no what you want to hear. Just because you want to hear it, I'm going to show you the game on how to get to this business. So that's why I put that video out.
And if you're lucky enough to be on a video, right, it's intimidating, right? I mean, to be here today with you two, right? Do I want to do this?
I couldn't tell.
Well, I mean, it's
I
like,
couldn't
this is why I
tell.
belong here. Gus has been telling me forever, you need to do video,
Yeah.
you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. It gets to a certain point where you know it's time to like level up, right? So even if it's uncomfortable, right? People should be doing that. Like, you're gonna feel uncomfortable when you're doing something new or when you're going to that next level. Just starting out, it's intimidating to even start. That's what stops a lot of people. So, it's just
Go on my page, everybody, audience, and just scroll all the way back, and then scroll all the way to the front, and you'll see the journey I had to go through, and I'm still figuring it out. Still figuring it out. And then if you would have told me that I was going to be able to generate an income, the kind of money I generate, I tell you it's impossible. So I do want to blow up a really quick myth. You have people saying, well, if you're making so much money in the space that you're making, then why is it that you're charging or making money in other spaces? So my foundation is real estate. My portfolio is 8 figures. My net income, I only talk net, I don't do gross, is high 5 figures net income. I flip and I make a ton of money. I do a lot of guest speaking. And then, of course, I got my mentorships. So people want to try and throw shots at people and say, why would you X, Y, Z? So I ask the person a question. If you right now watching us and you got a business and you are a contractor and you got a business, why are you selling items on the side to the customer? If you're a contractor, you should be sufficient enough with that, right? If you own a mechanic shop and you fix transmissions, why are you selling gas at the gas pump? If you're a beautician and you do hair, why are you selling a shampoo product? Because it's business. It's an extension of you. So whoever you are, and I would encourage Kristen as well, you got a tool, you got a value. You're not just a realtor. Mm-hmm. You're a mom, you're a wife, mm-hmm. You're an investor, you're a realtor, you're a sister. There's a value to that. Mm-hmm. There's a value to that. And you have every right to capitalize on it and not use people at the same time doing so.
Right. It's true. It's true. Everybody has value to bring. They just have to bring it, and then you should always just strive to make those who know you proud of you. That's what I just try to do every day,
That's right. That's right.
And one thing I would say, right now, as far as on social media, Welby, he's out of here. So he's far gone.
Not even close.
Yeah. But me, myself, who's trying to somewhat at the beginning stages, trying to get it, trying to figure it out. One thing people say, like, hey, because the last 3 years, I've been on social media putting out content. Gus, you don't want to just stay to yourself. You don't want to put yourself out there, And sometimes, to be honest, Kristen, it does mess with you. Mm-hmm. You start thinking like you're putting stuff out there, you're showing off. But my intentions, like I was saying before, is not to show off, is to put what do I get for putting the truth about you owning real estate and you could change your life? What do I get? I don't, because sometimes people will call me like, hey, Gus, I want to thank you for putting that content out. I brought this house with another real estate agent. So I'm like, all right, cool. My stuff helped you out and you did business with someone else. Mm-hmm. I would say the mind part of it messes you up. But here's the thing where I start to think about. The more I'm able to keep going, because anything's a longevity game, you only lose when you quit. So I'm going to continue to go ahead and do the things that I've been doing. I'm grateful I found Mark. He's doing a lot of great things as far as podcast-wise. Emily, I'm going to keep doing it. And the reason I'm going to keep doing it, because I got the goal in the back of my mind. My goal is not to be the all-time best real estate agent. My goal is I want to be on stages. My goal is I want to do podcasts like this multiple times a week. If I listen to other people as far as what they're telling me, or I worry what people are telling me about being on social media and being honest, I'll never get to obtain those goals. So I would share that with you, Kristen, as you get off here, you log off and you think about your journey. You have great skills. You've done a lot. Time to get out there. It's time to give back to the people. And as you give back to the people, people will gradually lift you up. and the more opportunities will come from it. And there's also going to be the people that hate because they got nothing better to do, but then worry about what the next person's doing. But you got to try to do your best to try to phase them out. So I'm kind of in the same boat, just a little bit farther than you, but I'm trying to figure it out too.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, before I bring up this question, I do want to agree. Kristen, you didn't seem nervous at all. You just don't seem like a natural up here.
Well,
but there is this question. I'm not going to even try to say what the person's handle or name is, but it says, what job did you used to work? When did you quit your job to focus on real estate full time? And what was your key signal that you should? I believe this is for you, Welby.
I hate answering questions like that because I don't think you should be focusing on quitting your job. The sensation, here goes again. A lot of people, I get asked that, and I'm like, that shouldn't even be on in your windshield right now, because your job is what's going to get you to where we're at today. The banks want you working versus you being an investor, especially at the beginning stages, because they want consistency. Consistency is your job because they understand that whatever you're making is $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year. They have a foundation to determine how much is it that they're comfortable lending you. So what I would encourage you to do is to focus not on how to be able to quit your job, but to how to leverage your job. And then how do you leverage your job? You leverage your job through the education, because I'm sure you probably have a retirement account or a retirement fund. Man, there's things that you could do with that will really blow your business up. That I would also encourage you to use that same job that you hate that's already maintaining your lifestyle. Make sure you keep going to work and go to work on time. Be a good employee, right? And allow that job to be your first business partner to invest in what you're looking to do in real estate. So that's why I hate talking that type of conversation, because I think most people are way too premature of even having that type of a conversation. So don't focus on that.
Can I give a different answer?
Absolutely.
Sure. Okay. So this is just a quick little snippet, because I've always had like a couple jobs. You should always have multiple streams. We know that, or maybe you don't, but you should. Let's just say for starting real estate, I was working at a bank, right? The way I flipped this, hey, maybe I want to be a lender here one day. Would you pay for me to take a real estate class? They paid me on their time to get my real estate license. Okay, that's the first thing. Then I was missing calls. I couldn't do showings, this, that, the other thing. So I got a job that allowed me to have more freedom, say bartending, say, serving. Okay, the hours are better for that. Once it started to get in the way, like I was doing an offer on a trash can out back, right? And so it's like that job is now getting in the way of me leveling up to what I want to do. That's kind of an indication. You want to answer it in that kind of term, I feel like if it gets in the way, but you should always have multiple streams going.
Amen.
And I'm going to give a little bit of a different answer from both of them. I was getting jerked at my job pretty much. And they said, Gus, you're hard, you don't work well with others. You're an excellent worker, but you don't work well with others, so on and so on. Because I'm always, if I'm in the space, I'm trying to do my thing. I don't like authority. It is what it is. So once I found out about being a real estate agent, I was like, okay, this works. And the guy that was teaching the class, he's like, if you're going to do this, you got to do it full time. The reason why I say that, if you get a phone call and you're not able to pick up, that client is going to call the next agent. I was like, oh shit. I mean, that hit me. Like, all right, I give the 2 weeks notice to my job. I cashed out my 401k. I was with the company for 7.5 years. At that time, and I got to say this part, I moved in with my wife, my at that time girlfriend. So I moved in with her. Now that was a blow to my ego right there. That got me down in the dumps. But I cashed out my 401k and I said, this is it. I'm putting my backs against the wall. We got to make this work. There is no plan B, or I would have to go back to another job at the end of the day. I think it's good for everyone to hear different options of what people think about that particular answer, because you may resonate with one of them and you may say, hey, I see it like that. I want to go ahead and have this side job, then build up my real estate as an investor. Or you may say, I need my primary job, but I'm going to build this up, and when it takes off, then I could switch. Or you may say, fuck it, I just want to quit my job and I'm going to go all in. My back's against the wall. It's either make it or not. So I think we all gave great options as far as answers for that particular question.
I love that. Cynthia is saying, Welby, that's because people do not understand all that you provide us in the mentorship. It is a community and a support system that assists us in achieving things that some of us never imagined.
I love my Flips to Profits family, man. We got a really amazing family. Even though I know the marketing point is to say community, but we really have a really tight knit family. It's so many of them. It's thousand now, 1,000+ of them, and we really connect with each other daily. Gus is in some of the groups that we're in too, and it's just a really dope community. I'm really proud of it.
Mm. And your classes are awesome. I took the one I was on vacation, by the way, with a bunch of friends, and I stopped what I was doing to sign on to I think it's How to Buy Right or whatever that one was. You gave the formula.
That was one of the webinars you must have been on.
Webinar. It was awesome. And they're like, Chris,
Yeah,
what are you doing? I'm like, listen, I know I'm on vacation, but this is important. You know what I mean? You got to make time for that stuff.
Hold on. Hold on. I had to force her though.
You didn't have to force me. I told you I was getting on it, and then you went on it because of me. So nice try, friend.
Yeah,
Don't let him lie to you like that.
Thank you for I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I had it on super loud too to make sure no one would interrupt me. And they're like, "Who's that yelling?" I'm like, "Well, don't worry about it."
I have the funniest thing is when I have the family members, then they'll talk about how their kids know me. Like, Donnie, who's that guy that's yelling on there? And then they know me by first name. But it's a really tight knit family and with big support. What I got planned for everybody this coming year is going to be amazing. I'm going to be showing people about the rental aspect of how I was able to build out my portfolio, and I'm going to be breaking down to people in the infinite return and the art of how I go about getting an infinite return on my properties and stuff. And I'm actually going to be announcing it on Monday because the class is going to be starting March 9th. Mentorship is going to be starting March 9th. We're going to open up for the public Monday. I know it's going to sell out quick. It's going to be an amazing class. I'm really excited about it.
All right, maybe Welby, you can wrap us up with maybe when you look at 2026, what should be people looking to do this year?
What worked yesterday is not going to work today, is what I want people to understand. Stop focusing on interest rates. Stop focusing on interest rates solely. Focus on the deal. Stop focusing on political, left, right, liberal or not, whatever, because none of these people are going to come and save you, save your family. I think that the opportunities are going to be massive, but for those people that are going to be prepared to capitalize. So if people are looking for like just a faucet of properties when you open up the faucet, just going to be an abundance of properties coming out and you're just going to grab and eat your fill. That's not what it's going to be at all. It's going to be, you're going to have to be methodical. You're going to have to be tactful. You're going to have to be intentional, and you're going to have to be ready. So especially these last few years, what I was doing is I was shoring up my financials in terms of liquid monies that I have. I was also showing up my relationships with the banks that I work with, also showing up my credits and everything else like that, because I do a combination of purchases in many ways where most of my properties I'm paying cash for them out of pocket, funding my own rehabs now, and then being able to double back and refinance out to recoup my monies back. So I'm really excited, and I would encourage people to align themselves up with a community of people that are like-minded like them. No scamming, no eating in your face, no lifestyle marketing, just real people that are really putting in that work. You're going to see that a lot of people's families are going to truly benefit big time in this coming years coming. And then unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of families going to get destroyed too and wiped out too. And I refuse to be one of those people to get wiped out.
Absolute great message. We'll wrap it up then. We'll get this one question in. It says, if you were back at zero, Welby, would you get a rental first or flip houses first?
The entire business of investing in real estate is a flip. So it doesn't matter about rental or flip. But now the art of flipping is powerful, because the art of flipping, you're never going to work your way out of poverty. It's never going to happen. But when you understand the art of a flip, you'll be able to accelerate the liquid monies that you can grow. So I I will always keep that mindset that the entire business of investing in real estate is a flip. But what I would start out with is looking for properties that I can flip in terms of flipping to sell so I could grow my capital. I would grow my capital, and then now I would be intentional with the capital. I would not splurge. I would not be going on vacation. I would not be buying my lady a new Birkin bag or anything like that. It would be, look, we're going to be eating hot dogs. We're going to be eating some ramen noodles for the next couple of months, a year, because I'm going to get us out of here. Because I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. And I would flip, build up the capital. Then I would then strategically take that capital and then start looking at income producing properties, because you're only as good as the last flip that you sell or the last property that you sell in business. So I got to find me a way of producing income. I would then strategically look at properties that I can add value to. I have no interest in turnkey properties. I don't want your turnkey property. I want your problem. So then I would take a percentage of that money after building up a certain capital so that my family could breathe, right? My family can breathe because financially we have some money. Then I would start buying properties that I can add value to. I'd be putting 20% down on a value add. That's what I would be doing. Then now, when you all join my rental mentorship, so people that want to join my rental mentorship, please go to any one of my videos starting Monday. Comment the word rentals, rentals. You're going to get a link to get on my wait list. And I'm going to show you guys, if you got some money, I'm going to show you guys how to invest that money in rentals, then be able to get that money returned back to you and still have a substantial amount of equity in the property and a huge cash flow net positive return every single month. That's what I would be doing. If I was starting from zero, that's what I would be doing. And I would definitely be joining my Flips to Profits community if it was me.
All right, everyone. Also, I just want to put Brady Morgan's YouTube channel in the chat. He's in the chat right now, but he just came out with his book on Amazon, his strategy to never sell in real estate. So go check that out over there. And you know what? Maybe we'll get one more question in before wrapping up. This is a quick one. It says, what is your take on either taking 75% or 80% when refinancing a BRRRR? Either way, you cashing out all of your initial investment out with profit.
You're not making profit. We got to stop this thinking, man. How are you profiting when you now owe that to the bank? It's like, you know what it's like? You know what it's like? American Express sends you a credit card and tells you that you got $50,000. Your bank account has no money, and you say, let me borrow a line of money from American Express and put $20,000 in my bank. So now you're playing mind games now. Oh yeah, I got $20,000 in my bank account. No, you don't. You owe American Express the $20,000 plus the other $30,000 line of credit, and that's no different than a mortgage. So you didn't make a profit. Please, whoever you are, come join my community, man. Let me get you straight. Let me get you straight, because I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to get the money back. I'll show you how what they call an infinite return. I must say this, please. You do not start making money on real estate until you recoup what it cost you. When I say recoup what it cost you, if you got a property for $100,000 and you spent $20,000, if you financed $80,000 but you put $20,000 down, you now rent the place. You're making $300 a month. Divide that $300 by that $20,000 that you put up. That's the length of time it takes for you to break even. So you don't make any money yet. And then if you remember at the beginning of this conversation, equity means absolutely nothing if you can't tap into it. So when somebody now says that $100,000 property turned to $150,000, they put it in their mind that they made money because the property is up $50,000. But it's no different than having gold behind a vault. You can see it, but you can't touch it. So who cares, right? So you have to learn how to recoup that money back. So now that strategy that young brother or person said, that's the strategy that's going to wipe you out. Because by the time you get to the third property, following that process, 75 to 80%, plus putting money in your pocket that you're going to use to buy that next property, you're going to do it the second property. By the time you get to the third, maybe by the second, but by the time you get to the third, my friend, you are going to get wiped out and you're going to lose everything. The people aren't ready to hear this type of conversation. The people aren't ready to hear. I hope they're ready to hear this type of conversation now, because what the response was supposed to be was, "Hey, buddy, yes, of course, buddy, just go and do." Oh, that's what they wanted to hear. If it worked, I would be the first person to applaud you.
Mm-hmm.
If it works, I'd be the first person to say, "Yes, my friend. Maybe do a little bit of this, but that's wonderful." But if it's a brick wall you're about to hit, I'm going to be the guy to tell you the truth with love.
Great advice.
And Mark, I would like to say something. First and foremost, Kristen and Welby, I appreciate you guys jumping on this morning. So also, there's a lot of the community that's been tapping in, and I've been seeing them in the chat. They're from the one rental at a time community. It's Mark, how many members are part of the community? Oh, like on the YouTube, like 70,000?
70,000 subscribers. Me and Gus will be in Vegas at the ORAT event in February. Right, Gus? You bought your tickets, right?
But what I wanted to say
I've traveled with Gus. Good luck. No.
what I wanted to say is this is valuable. This is two communities meeting together, fan bases, potentially crossing over and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know if I'm putting anyone on the spot. Maybe something down the line we could recircle again a month or two from now. So I do want to throw, you don't got to answer it now, just something to think about, because there are, two communities that are peeping this. So just want to throw that out there. Once again, thank you both.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you everyone that's on this panel, everyone that tuned in on the chat. Gus, definitely thank you for putting this together. Welby, hopefully you don't call me out for hitting you up in your DMs or anything to want to collaborate. But
I love to collaborate with you guys, man. I'd love to collaborate. I'd love to bring whatever value I can, and as long as people are gonna allow me to just be myself, and I'm fine with that, And I'm just here to just spread the information, the knowledge, and the truth, So.
Definitely great place to wrap it up. Yes, Jason, everyone, go cheer for the Bears today. Bear down, get us to the NFC Championship. But Welby, just remind everyone, your where to hit you up for your course coming.
If my name is on the. I don't know if they get to see my name on here, but if you go on any social media platform at my best 197, I put out content every day, pretty much, and I give you guys the good, the bad, the ugly of investing in real estate. So, I would highly encourage people to. Come rock with me, man. I'm here for it all, man. So come rock out with me, and
he's not yelling at you, right, Kristen?
I don't mind. I need it. Trust me. I think a lot of people need it. So
if people tap in on my page, so I'm very easy to get in contact with. People are surprised that they can easily contact me. You'll be able to tap me on WhatsApp as well too. We could do a video call. So if people are looking for consultations, you can book a consultation with me, and we could get on live video calls. And I'm gonna break it down to you. I'm gonna show you detail what's going on with your portfolio, why you ain't making no money. Here's what you can. But here's the sad part. A lot of the times people already in their heart already knows there's a problem. They just don't know what the problem is. Mm-hmm. And then when they're told that, it's a tough pill to swallow, but at least you know, and then you just make an informed decision on what you're going to do or not.
Love it. I love it. Gus, thank you again, like I said, for setting this up. And everyone, thanks for tuning in, and have a great rest of the weekend.
You did amazing, Kristen. Nice meeting you.
Hopefully, see you.